Hi everyone, in this video episode I have Grant, the CEO of PlayerMint, who will be talking about how they're integrating Cardano and blockchain into various games and metaverses. What is a metaverse? You'll find out very soon. So if you like this type of content, please make sure you give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and click on the notification bell and you hear more from us real soon. All right, let's get into this.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast.
Grant, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here. Now, first off, you're a gamer, right?
Yep, of course. Whole life.
What are you playing at the moment?
I'm switching back and forth between Fortnite and Warzone mostly, like when I'm playing casually. I'm also like really into RPG games, but the quality RPG games come around a lot less frequently. So like the last two that I got super into was The Witcher and Dark Souls. If you've heard of those.
Yeah, I have. I've been wanting to get into the Witcher one just because of that. I've heard so much about the storyline, but I'm just afraid of sinking, half my life into it. So it's
I mean, I prefer that over getting absorbed by a Netflix show. So that's kind of how I justify it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
There's one that I'm really excited for that's coming out called Elden Ring. It's co-produced by the creator of Dark Souls and George R.R. Martin.
Oh, right. Okay.
Game of Thrones guys. So that looks really awesome.
I haven't heard of it, so I will check that one out if I want to sink half my life into something else as well. So we know a little bit about your gaming background, but what about your blockchain background and specifically Cardano, and how did PlayerMint come about?
Yeah, so years back, Aiden, one of my co-founders, and I were hosting lots of blockchain crypto events in the area that we grew up in, and like people at that point hadn't even really heard about blockchain, like they didn't. Now it's kind of more of a buzzword that people kind of know about. But we were hosting lots of events and going to lots of events, and that kind of grew a network for us. And then I started helping some investment firms learn about why they should care about crypto and what it's doing to finance and markets. And then just really went down the journey of building a project that's bringing gaming and blockchain together. Because I think that's something where it's really easy to onboard people onto this concept and introduce them to it. And a lot of the foundation of what the value that blockchain can bring to games is kind of already there, in the sense of like these items already have value and markets. And like crypto can really like bring that to the next level. And it's a good way to onboard lots of users.
All right. So when I was doing some research about PlayerMint and yourself, there was a lot of lingo and terminology on the website, which I was trying to understand. So one of them was Metaverse. So going through the PlayerMint website, if you check it out, it talks about these various aspects. So what is a Metaverse? What does that actually mean?
Yeah, so I think like some good examples to look at. One right now would be Roblox. So you've got this experience where it's got over 150 million users that are all participating in this shared virtual space, and they're building their own experiences and connecting them together. And then they're moving between these different virtual experiences. And you have even creators that are making like cosmetic items like hats and shirts and stuff. And then they're offering them and selling them to other players to wear. And then you've got Epic Games, which just raised $1 billion to build out their Metaverse platform, and they run Fortnite. So they're building a similar experience to what Roblox has, where developers can come in and build different experiences. So what I think it's going to look like is like, rather than kind of like you might be playing NBA 2K and then you close that game out on your Xbox and then you go and you move to another game and you open that game up. It'll be that you're in a shared virtual space where you're moving between the different virtual experiences, and they all have some connecting attributes of them. And then you've also got like Decentraland on Ethereum. Like they're playing around with a lot of the blockchain concepts there of like property rights and scarcity and like having land. So it's all super interesting.
Right. So for a lot of people that aren't playing games or aren't gamers, you probably have to explain a little bit there. So in Decentraland, you mentioned, for example, that people are buying virtual land in the game and selling it off. So can you go into that a little bit so that people that aren't gamers, haven't played any of these things, can actually understand what's going on?
Yeah. So you have a set amount of land that people are playing in, and then certain parts of the available land will become more valuable based off of like the foot traffic or who's around that land, like who else has bought land in these different areas and like what you can do with it. So you might have a really nice piece of land based off where it's located, and that land might have a lot of traffic. So I think an easy concept for people to understand the value of that is if you've got a piece of land with a lot of foot traffic, then you could put up an ad or throw events there. And then having that piece of valuable land that lots of people move through becomes really valuable because you can throw events and have advertisements and do with that land what you will. And then there's a pretty like increasingly robust market that's being built around that. You even have investment firms now that are like creating like virtual real estate funds. So you can invest in a real estate fund just like you can in the physical world, but it's a purely digital real estate fund. And then you have portfolio managers that are managing the estates. So there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, this kind of concept would absolutely blow someone's mind when they go, what?
Yeah.
People are living entirely different lives online, buying property.
Yeah, I think one thing also to keep in mind when you compare the value of that to like maybe like a physical property is the kind of like traffic or like the eyeballs and like the value in a lot of ways can scale a lot further. Because as where you might be more confined to how many people can kind of fit in a space, or like you need people to be able to travel like across the world to go to a certain location. In the digital world, you can easily move around, so you can easily get to a spot that you want to go to. So the traffic and the scalability of kind of like the social capital of having that place can scale a lot further than like a physical property can, because the amount of traffic that can run through it.
Yeah. I think one example would be, I've forgotten the rapper's name. It's just escapes me off the top of my head here. But he did. Hey, say again?
Travis Scott.
Yeah, that's it. He did that virtual concert in Fortnite.
Yep.
Yep. Which again is just another mind-boggling concept. Did he sell tickets for that, or was it like a free event that was just promoting himself?
Yeah, it was just a free event. Like I'm sure like probably I wouldn't be surprised if Epic Games paid him to throw it, or if he just kind of made the money off of the exposure that he got. But like you're also seeing it like Complex, that the media brand is throwing virtual events, and like they're selling NFT like tickets, and then you buy like NFT merch at this virtual event. And kind of like as these platforms, as games develop out more, you'll continue to see an increasing amount of artists throw those type of events like what Travis Scott did. And it'll become a lot more frequent, and not just artists, but like brands like car brands. Like you might be like Porsche might buy like a piece of land, or like they might throw an event and then people can drive around in the Porsche cars, and then you're creating like this entertainment advertisement experience. So those are just kind of like things that will be happening as these spaces become more common.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. All right. So in a lot of these games, they have some sort of in-game currency to try and build some value or economy within the game as well. Now, in the games they generate this, you can buy things and whatnot. And how does PlayerMint tie into that?
Yeah, so I think again, like what's really valuable about crypto and gaming is that the base concept of these items already having value is there, like even in non-blockchain games. And I think where a lot of the value is that the secondary markets are going to become a lot more liquid, and it's going to turn these items into much more behaving like assets. So you might get some gold in World of Warcraft, but the value will be siloed within the game. Or if you go and you try to sell it on like a third-party market, the amount of trust that's needed to operate that, all the way from the fact that you need the central server that's running the game to if you want to take it to a market to sell it, you need kind of like an eBay type of experience to sell it. And like all of the trust that's required there leads to a lot of fraud and a lot of like lack of liquidity. So by automating a lot of that and like making the secondary market a lot more robust with property rights and things like that, the items become and start to behave a lot more like assets that have a lot more tangible liquid value. So you'll like see that from like game currencies or game items, and it'll just like bring what's already there to the next level. So we're not like starting from scratch. It's not like CS:GO skins will already sell for tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah. Which is amazing. I had no idea CS:GO skins was selling for that much.
Yeah.
I haven't played that in a long time, but maybe I'll get back into it. All right. So what's the PMX token? What's the PlayerMint token, and how does that work into all of this?
Yeah, so there is the supply and demand side. So the supply side is earning it in gameplay competition, kind of like if you're competing for Bitcoin with hash power, but you're competing with your in-game skill. And then that cryptocurrency is then used for two main purposes at the base level, which is one, the pro version. So we kind of look at it as kind of like a battle pass. If you have 75 PMX, then you start to unlock additional features in the system. And then also to mint and trade the items requires PMX, kind of like you need ETH or ADA to run the smart contracts. So it's kind of like a gas for the metaverse economy, so to speak. So if you want to mint items or trade items, then you'll need PMX in order to do that. And we use the Babel fee model to make that experience a lot more user-friendly compared to on Ethereum, where you would need to hold both like ETH and the token at the same time.
Yeah.
So what that does is that as the economy gets bigger and more items are being minted and traded, then the demand for the token that's being used to fuel all that activity, like the demand for that increases along with the size of the economy.
So I'm trying to work out some more of the tokenomics as you explain this. So would players be buying PMX, or would they be earning PMX, or could it be a bit of both?
Yeah, a little bit of both. Kind of can go down either route. Earning it, obviously, and then if they have an item that they really want to get, then they might go out and buy more of it, just like they would do that with V-Bucks. Like you're earning V-Bucks, but you might want to get more because you want to get some skin that dropped, or if you're a creator. And you're less focused on like the actual, more of your focus is on the creation or like the creation of games, or you're a streamer, then you want to create assets and you want to mint assets, and then like you'll need PMX in order to run that experience.
Strange new world. It's going to be a little bit of fun here. Okay, so streamers, gamers, whoever they may be, earning PMX and then using that to create in-game items or whatever, and then sell it off to other players and whatnot in the metaverse. Cool.
Yeah,
gotcha.
or another example would be like if you're a streamer and you want to make an NFT that is kind of like a membership, like a community membership, kind of like a blacklist card kind of. So you tokenize like whatever amount of NFTs, And then these NFTs give special access to like people in the community that own them. And then it becomes like an asset. So I kind of think about that as like a tokenized subscribe button that has like a secondary market value attached to the creator that they can kind of attach a bunch of utility to.
Okay. I'm just trying to visualize. So they'll get this NFT token, be like a subscription thing, but what would they be subscribing to, for example?
So like a creator could be like, you get a special role in a Discord, or like you get a special animation, or you get a special animation when you enter my Twitch stream. So like you have all these like Twitch stream animations. Someone could like someone who has it enters your Twitch stream, and then it like creates like an effect with your name on it. Yeah. And if you've got you know thousands and thousands of people watching your stream, that owning that becomes really valuable. Or maybe it's to like meet you in the virtual world, or like hang out with you, or like play a Fortnite match with you, or kind of like whatever they can come up with.
Strange. I think it's strange because I haven't really delved into you know, this type of world, so it's a bit of a bridge for me. But yeah, very cool. All right, so what are the goals of the project? What do you have to do to achieve and make it all happen?
Yeah, so I mean, right now we're focused on building a token system to make the experience for gamers more rewarding. So earning PMX and minting and earning NFTs and collecting items, a lot of the behavior that gamers are already doing, just enhanced, and onboarding a lot of users through that experience. And then the long-term objective becomes to power the metaverse economy. So that kind of goes to some of the things that we were talking about before, or like once we've built out the core of the system where people are earning PMX, you've got a marketplace for the NFTs and a wallet system, then that kind of becomes the three pillars to power the metaverse economy. So a game studio can plug into that and start minting items in their game. And like the value for them there is, for one, their secondary market becomes way more liquid for the items, and it gets rid of the fraud that's happening in their secondary market. And then also the ability to earn more off of the items. So like royalty payments off of all the secondary market sales, which right now, all that's kind of happening in dark markets, like unlocking a lot of that value for players and creators and game studios.
Yeah, so basically everyone can possibly get a cut along the way as things are traded. Okay, all right. So who's on the PlayerMint team? Who's going to make this all happen?
Yeah, we've got an awesome team. We've got gaming executives from the traditional gaming world that have lots of experience there. Game Pro, E3, IGN, and then people that really understand the blockchain side of the world. And then we've got partners with firms that are helping us with like the accounting side and the legal side. So like building the right team to execute on it is a critical part of making this successful. I think that we've gone about doing that very well. So
that's pretty cool that you've teamed up with the existing game developers already, because it means you do have that bridge and a doorway in to actually make this happen.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. So anyone else that you're partnering up with? So you mentioned accounting firms and whatnot to get those side of things working. Any other big names you'd like to mention?
So we'll be working with a lot of gaming creators, like content creators, and
Gotcha.
like people to kind of like create items and start building out things that people will want to earn. And like a lot of our focus at first is going to be on like the gamer side and the player side. And then we'll start moving more into the world of the game studios like Ubisoft and these different companies that are like big established like game studios. And so that's kind of like the direction that we're heading in.
Yeah, very cool. Have you spoken to the Novelia team?
No, but I saw your podcast with them.
Yep, cool. They're building some interesting things there as well with their dev platform. Yep, cool. I just thought there might have been more crossover in regards to what you were both doing, but it seems just different enough.
Yeah, so I would say that you could kind of think of what, like my understanding, you can think about what they're doing as more like a B2B model, is like providing different tools to businesses that are building experiences. And we're taking an approach of starting with more of like a B2C, so to speak, experience, where we're like focusing in on the players and onboarding the players and having a user-facing experience. And then from there, we'll be looking to do a lot more like things with game studios, like having game studios minting items and things like that. So there may be some opportunity for us to work together as well.
Yeah, I can see that happening as well. It'd be really cool if you guys did. Now, you're also in, you also have a proposal in Project Catalyst at the moment, asking for some funding to get this PlayerMint platform up and running. Can you go over the details of that, how much you're asking for, and what you're going to achieve out of it?
Yeah, so the ask is 30,000, and with that, we're putting that towards the launch of the user-facing experience, and using that to onboard a lot of people to Cardano, and a lot of people that haven't even interacted with crypto at all. So yeah, we're starting with a token system, a very easy to understand user experience of earning a token while you're playing, and then collecting NFTs. And building communities around that.
For me, this is a pretty obvious question, but why Cardano over anything? Why Cardano over other platforms, blockchains?
Yeah, I mean, the tool set is a lot stronger than, say, something with Ethereum. Like, we have a lot more tools to use. Like, the Babel fee model is significantly better than using something like a gas station network. On Ethereum, like the scalability of it, obviously. Once we can kind of use some of like the governance tools that they have available to integrate that into what we're doing. So like the tool set is a lot more advanced, and it strikes like a perfect medium between scalability and decentralization. So a lot of the platforms might like scale well, but they're lacking the decentralization to do it correctly, or vice versa. So I'm really happy that we have like a kind of like a really perfect spot between those two, of scalability and decentralization.
Yep. I agree too. I think you've definitely chosen the right platform. Okay, so how can people find out more about the project, and how can they connect with you? And lastly, how can they support you for Project Catalyst?
Yeah, come to our website, which is playermint.com. And then we have like our Discord on there. You can follow us on Twitter, which is @theplayermint. And we're going to be having a lot of town halls of our own and like AMAs regularly. So feel free to drop in on those. And we want like the community to be a really big part of what we're doing and help us build this. So feel free to drop in for sure.
All right, great. I'll grab all of those links and any other references that you want to pass over to me. I'll make sure they're all in the show notes so people can follow and learn more about the progress of PlayerMint.
Awesome.
All right, Grant. Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure learning more about PlayerMint and a bit about yourself too.
Yeah, appreciate you having me.
Now, as Grant said, they're up for voting in Fund 4 Project Catalyst. If you are watching this in time for the voting process, please make sure you do check them out and see what you can do in regards to giving them a little bit of a vote to boost up their chances of being funded. It'll be really exciting to see this and the other interview I did with the Will from Novelia and their platform and their development kits that they're building for game developers to integrate blockchain into various games as well. So it'll be interesting to see these two projects get in and funded and make legway into the gaming industry. I'll be absolutely amazed to see it actually happen, and I'm excited to actually see it happen, fingers crossed. Now, like I said before, if you do enjoy this type of content, please give us that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and click on the notification bell, and you will hear more great content from us soon.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast. Gotta get it hype. Crypto is what we like, but this is not investment or financial advice. Gotta do your research, cause it's risky. We know it is.